Hi, my name is Alexandra. Welcome to my channel where I talk about things I just want to talk about. I've got so many opinions, I need to let them out before I'm gonna explode. And also I believe that every action creates a reaction. So this is my action, right? But whatever reaction it's gonna create, it's not up to me. It's up to you, actually. And any more alternative spirituality. Okay, so today we are going to talk about confession. And my early memory of a confession is when I was 8 and I was being brought up in a Catholic family. So at some point I had to go to, a wooden box and then whisper my sins or my confessions to a priest. And he would pray and that's it, basically, my guilt, shame, and all this yucky feelings supposed to go away. Well, they didn't. It absolutely terrified me. It didn't help. I didn't understand the confession until 20 years later, which brings us to today. I had this huge realization I want to talk about and discuss and review. Of course, I've got few examples, but before we're gonna jump into the examples, I would like to bring the definition of a confession. So you've got the first one, and the formal statement admitting that one is guilty of a crime. This is your legal confession. We all know what's the 5. The second point, acknowledgement that one has done something about which one is ashamed or some knowledge. There was an action, okay? A confession is about your action which you just very unhappy and heavy with. Just because you feel embarrassed and ashamed about something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you've done something wrong. And we're gonna have examples of that soon. And the other way around, if you're proud of something, doesn't mean you acted in a right kind of manner. So let's bring the examples. Actually, no. Before I'm gonna bring the examples, a little bit backstory. When I was having an idea about this video, which I'm creating right this moment, I was like, oh yeah, let's jump on TikTok and let's find some confessions in there, right? It really seems like TikTok, #confession, I'm gonna get what I want. Well, it's kind of my bad that I went looking for depth in TikTok. I was absolutely terrified. Majority of the confessions in there, it's not about anyone doing anything wrong. It's about 2 or more consenting adults doing things a little bit embarrassing to talk about, but that's not the confession. I mean, so now let's jump into the real one. This one.
What's a secret that you can't tell anyone without ruining your life? I left my manufacturing job in the early 2000s, but they continued paying me my full salary, including raises and annual bonuses.
You guys, this is like winning a lottery, but okay.
So every month I was being paid my
Illegal lottery.
normal salary, even though I wasn't working there and I never queried it, obviously. At the beginning of the illness in 2020, they offered me a very nice redundancy package. This included a $90,000 contribution to my pension fund. I got the quarterly magazine and annual Christmas card from this company. Recently, I got an invite for a party for an anniversary of the company, which I went to. Had a great time at the free bar, and nobody ever realized that I hadn't worked there for over 20 years. Best administrative error I've ever seen. Although I do think whether I should have come clean and told someone.
That's an example of confession. And it's not any confession. It's not about you've done something embarrassing. It's more about like you broke the law, I'm pretty sure like not disclosing the information that you're still getting paid after not working for the company. It's a little bit illegal, isn't it? The balls on that person, I would feel terrified. Like, what if somebody's gonna know? Each paycheck I would get to be like, I can't spend this money, it's not my money, it's just, I don't know, my conscience or conscious. You guys know what I mean. Sorry. Would absolutely eat me alive. And for this person it really seems like it might be somewhere there on their shoulders being like, that's really not cool what you're doing. But after 20 years, oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure it's like, whoa, prison sentence? Just imagine returning all this money which you've collected for like 20 years and 90k of a pension fund. I mean, that's heavy. That's a heavy confession. And a difficult one. But yeah, that's just like a perfect example, you know? Let's see this one. And that's an example of something what is not a confession, or is not supposed to be a confession. Again, an acknowledgement that one has done something about which one is ashamed. Getting 19 stitches is nothing you've done. It's just nothing you've done. It happened to you. There's no need to confess about something what happened to you. I mean, yeah, okay, some things might be embarrassing. It's still not your confession to make. Whoever's done it to you, whoever was like, gave you 19 stitches, they supposed to confess. And they supposed to speak up. That's an example of not confession. Okay, next.
What is something you've never told anyone? I hate my daughter. She's 16 now and I literally cannot stand her. And this...
Ooh, this one is heavy. But again, it's difficult to say whether it is or it's not confession. Like, you know, confession that you've done something you're ashamed of. And sometimes even for family, there are personality types we just don't. They don't get along. And it's such a shame when it happens in like close family, you know, between like parent and child. It's horrible. But let's see what's
isn't a new
next.
thing. It has kind of always been this way. We just never meshed well. She is spoiled, entitled, snotty, and everything I was hoping she would not.
Ooh, okay. Just everything I was hoping she would not be. That's a confession. Well, this person should have confessed into something, but I don't think that this person knows exactly what sin has been made by this person there and then. Everything I was hoping she would not be. Whoever's there, listen to me. Having a child is not make a wish, okay? It's just not. It's just not. It's just not. You're having a baby, you're having a child, and of course you've got this fantasy of how is it gonna be, but you cannot expect from your child to act and to be the exact way you want them to be. So I think that was the kind of the mistake for which a confession should be made. You know, just having hopes and expectations that your daughter will turn out exactly how you fantasize about this, and then when the person doesn't turn out this way, you hate her. I mean, not cool. And also imagine the resentment. Oh,
Be. And she hates me too. She thinks I'm pathetic and can't even look me in
the
the eyes.
resentment. Hello,
And
thank
it's
you.
just me. My wife and her have a wonderful...
Here, my wife and her have a wonderful relationship. So there's nothing wrong with the girl then. There's nothing wrong with the girl. If she is able to create a wonderful relationship with somebody, but not you, at the same time, you saying like, oh, she's just not what I hoped she would be. Tough. Very tough situation.
relationship. I have no idea where I went.
I have no idea where I went wrong. Yeah, that would have been a confession if you actually figure out for yourself where you went wrong. And I think it's just very simple and very common kind of mistake has been made, which is basically, you know, trying to have your daughter your way instead of being curious and cherish the person she actually is. Yeah, this is like half confession, half not. Because this person admits to something, but also this person doesn't seem to understand what the confession is about. Anyway, difficult. Also, 16 years old is a very difficult age to be in. And I really hope that this family is gonna mature a little bit more and have it sorted between them. I really hope.
Did you
What's
watch the
this?
Euros?
Oh,
Did you
I
show
love Luis Capaldi. It had to be here. Well, I found it.
And I won't lie to you.
I found it under the hashtag confession, and it has to be here. So
I'm very honoured to meet you. But what I found about the Euros, the Women's Euros, was that watching the Lionesses, the English women's team, excel in such a way inspired a huge bitterness and jealousy in me as a Scottish person. The same as the men's game.
okay, yeah, cool. I put this video there just as an example. The confession, it doesn't need to be something what you carry with yourself for years or even weeks or whatever, and you let it grow and you let it overwhelm you, and eventually you find the civil bravery to go and confess. It doesn't have to be like this, you know. Confession, you can make them as you go. In fact, in my opinion, I think you should make them as them go. Sometimes there is just no point of having regrets and having them grow and grow and grow and grow until it's like too heavy, like the guy or the woman in the first video, you know, like for 20 years just living with this knowledge that you've done something wrong and you might get consequences for it. Like, no, be like Louis. Let it out as soon as it comes. Somebody's asking, you've got confession to make, boom, blout it out. You know, that's absolutely inspired me. That's the type of confessions I want to make, just as I go. So I don't actually have anything on my shoulders, because whatever's happening right there, right now, it just go. And
I have a confession to make. I've dealt with anxiety, overthinking, and depression for the last 5 years of my life. Do you ever wonder why you...
that's another example of not a confession. That's something happened to you. Having anxiety and depression, overthinking, is not a choice. It's not an action you took and you regret later and you feel like you have to confess because you're ashamed and embarrassment. I mean, okay, fair enough. Having those issues might be a little bit shameful, might be a little bit embarrassing, but you're not supposed to confess to something would happen to you. The confession is there if you've done something wrong, okay? Not for the wrong things to happen to you. And I'm just like gonna be speaking about this and getting it into people's head, especially into my one. But the message is beautiful, so let's get on.
Be happy all the time? I hate to break it to you, but pain is part of the human experience. What you need to hear is the only way to move forward is to embrace it and take leaps of faith into the unknown.
Yep. And I think this message is really important when we talk about confession, because, you know, confessing, and especially in the heat of a moment, oh my goodness, it feels disgusting, and we all know it, okay? It does feel disgusting. We all been there when we had to kind of take accountability for our mistakes and confess to something, and just it feels so yucky. It's not a nice feeling, but you know what, you're not gonna run away from it. And it's either gonna be once and properly, you're gonna get it out, and that's it, or it's gonna haunt you. It's gonna be coming to you as you're trying to fall asleep, or you wash your dishes, or you drive a car, or you're trying to have an amazing party and enjoy your time, and there is like something pop into your brain about something you've done X amount time ago, and you still haven't apologized for it, you still didn't take accountability, you still haven't confessed, and it's just gonna keep haunting you, and it's gonna be painful, and it's gonna be as painful as actually blabbing it out and apologizing if you have to, or whatever. Making those videos because whatever I say in here, it's something I also needed or will need to hear at some point in my life. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked. If you did, just hit the like, subscribe. What will you? Have an amazing day. Thanks. Bye.